Hello and welcome back to our forest challenge for what I believe is episode 5. I'm sure the last episode was 4. And that is how counting works. In the meantime, from the back end of the last video, because we still had a bit of time left, what I did was I cleared some of that area there. Because what I intend for us to do is, jump on here, I intend for us to get rid of this fence here and then extend our farm out in that bit there. So this effectively is still going to be our yard, but our buildings, our sheds, are going to be here, because it then starts going up quite a steep incline. So we'll probably end up having a field in this area here, but again, look how steep it is. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I took a few trees down. I think before we slept overnight we had just over 10 grand, and then from the rest of the money's come from our generators. So how are we doing here? Yep, it's still running absolutely fine. And that obviously is just there now. Our grass is coming through. Still needs another load of fertilizer on it, which we could actually do today. It's still really dark, isn't it? Like, I waited until 9 o'clock as well, and it's still really dark because of all the coverage. So yeah, we could possibly do that today. What we are going to try to do is, I think, that's going to be messy in there. What I think we're going to try to do today though is we're going to leave that here, switch on, get spun round. I think thanks to my mate Feldon, who also has his own YouTube channel and does various different, like some really interesting series. There was one in particular where I think it was a no tractor challenge. For what I remember, it was on No Man's Land as well. Really interesting. And there was another one about, it's called Supply in Mars, possibly. Am I getting mixed up with a board game here? Or possibly a PlayStation 5 game? But it was something to do with where he was on Mars and he was having to create sort of his own farming area on Mars. Feeding Mars, something like that. But yeah, after our last episode, in fact it wasn't even our last episode, it might have been after episode 2, he commented saying about a cheap way of getting the stump grinder, or the stump grinder, was to get this little attacher here, which we'll get now. There it is, I've just gone past it. So to get this, 1,200, and that should, he says, attach onto here. Back up there. Yep. And now we can't do it straight away because I know we can't afford it, because I know it's over 20 grand, but we will be able to afford it later in this episode. We've then got the Tree Be Gone Mini, which is 22 grand, and that fits onto that little attacher here. It also only takes 50 horsepower, which is pretty much what we've got with the Massey as well. So that is what we're going to be looking at doing. What we are going to do now though, like I've said, we are going to utilise jumps and time lapses more in this series, just so we can progress a bit faster. I am going to jump, I'm going to clear some more trees and come back. Okay, so we've been off. It took a little bit of time actually to get up to 24. I know we're absolutely surrounded by trees, but each tree you only get sort of between $600 and $700 for. So it doesn't go up that quickly really. And I think it won't be in this episode, but we're going to have to explore different ways of moving the trees as well, because it's just not efficient enough. I couldn't use the trailer this time, the micro tractor, because it's full of seed. I tried emptying it, it's absolutely full. So yeah, we've just been cutting them up and then just hauling them back to the sell point, which is absolutely no good at all. But also didn't want to spend more money on something else because then it would take longer. So what we've done is we've created a bigger area round here. This is where we've took the trees from. So the next time we work in this field, we'll probably extend it because it goes all the way around the back of here, and we can extend it right to this sort of path here. Yeah, so the field's going to be sort of that big next time around, I think. That is what we'll do. Now we need to go and try to buy this. Well, see if it's going to work. I hope this works. I'll be devastated if it doesn't. Wrong one. I can take that off. In fact, let's just leave it on for now. I was going to take it off because I've just been playing Griffin, and I tend to keep them off on Griffin, don't I? For whatever reason. I don't even know why, to be honest. Right, what am I looking at? Forestry. We want the mini... It's called tree stump go away or something like that. Tree be gone. Stump go away. Right. So we don't need to change any of this. I'm not a big fan of that colour, like. We'll keep it because it's probably going to cost it anyway. Cost us. So let's buy that 22 grand. Let's get our Massey. If this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm also, if I repeat anything from the first part of the video, I recorded that 2 days ago. Just, I've gone into sort of my backs and nights at work, so I struggle to get... God, this is heavy on here. I struggle to record when I'm on them particular shifts. This is really heavy. To see the front lift up. I mean, it's still on the deck, which is good, but I don't think there's much of it. Please work. Ah. It worked. I mean, it doesn't want to move once it's switched on, but it works. It won't reverse. Right, let's see what it does on here. I know fine well I can't drive into that crop and do it. It's gone past the first growth stage. Oh, fantastic. It's gone past the first growth stage, and not only might this damage it, but I know the wheels of the Massey will, because we've only got the normal wheels on. I need to go and have a look actually, to see if you can change it, because if you can't, in a couple of episodes time, in fact it might even be in the next one, but I think it might be the one after that, to be honest, we're going to have to look at getting another tractor with narrow wheels. I mean, for the bit of kit that we're going to use to harvest the beets, I don't think it takes particularly much horsepower. In fact, I'm sure it doesn't. But we still need something in narrows. I know there is a couple of really cheap tractors on there. I mean, we could even look at, whether it'll work or not, I'm not sure, but the micro tractor that doesn't have the trailer on the back. Could even look at that. Although it's so dark. Although that's still about 12 grand or something, 12, 14 grand for that. So there's probably cheaper options out there, to be honest. Well, on this Tree Be Gone, all I can say is, Felden, you're an absolute legend. Because I didn't even know. I knew this mod existed, the Tree Be Gone one. I didn't know that the Attacher existed. And I think that is pretty much... This is probably the cheapest way we could have done this. I don't see any other way. Come on. don't see any other way we could have done it. I mean, it's a shame we can't do the beet field, but that's just one of them things, isn't it? We just have to work around it. I remember on No Man's Land, didn't we? We went for ages without a stump grinder, didn't we? When we just there was a few fields that we created that just had stumps in them for absolutely ages. There's nothing we could do about it. Just we couldn't afford it. Right, a little bit left. Right, I think that's all them. What I'll do is, let's go around this way. Because in this episode, if we can, how much we got? 2 grand. I don't know if we'll be able to, like. I was going to say we might be able to get our first shed up. I don't even know how long the first part of the video was, I can't remember. But yeah, I thought with this backing onto this hill here, the slope, and then just it's sort of natural to extend out the back, I think, on this one. So I think it'll be a decent area. I mean, the slope might sort of hamper things a little bit with building. We might have to sort of play around with it. It might cost a little more as well, but I certainly didn't want to be using the flattest land that we've got out the front. Because I don't know, like when we go up them slopes, I don't know if it goes down again. I haven't even had a look. So where are we at? So I mean that one there. Just go and have a look. I don't know if we'll be able to. Let's get that off. See if we can get up here. I mean, it's not liking it already. Tell you what, let's park that. Let's just go and have a look, see what's around here. Because I literally haven't been more than, I don't know, 100 yards away from the farm. Oh, there's some different trees around here. They'll be decent. Oh yeah, so it flattens out again. I say flattens out. Looks like there's different trees over there as well. And over there, if that's within the map boundaries, that is. Yeah, so we could... That isn't even the bit I thought we were in. That's that bit there, that's like 1 million or something, isn't it? Yeah, let's have a look over here. So this goes back down again. Ah, so... It shouldn't be too bad. If we end up buying one of these plots rather than this one, or that one. What's that one? 900, 1 million, right, 400. So that's by far the cheapest. Whether we can actually build a road out of there though, because that's blocking it, isn't it? We might not be able to. Right, let's get back down here. Poor little Massey trying to get up this big bank. I mean, look at it. Look at it. Poor little thing. Yeah, we'll have to have a look, see if we could actually build a road out of there, because it doesn't look like on first glance, just looking at the map, that we'll be able to. And that was the cheapest plot of land as well, at only 400 odd grand. I can't overstate how pleased I am with this. Because I was thinking that we're going to have to get this sort of the stump grinder that we always seem to use, which I didn't want to anyway because we've used it in a couple of different Let's Plays. And I prefer a bit of variety. But even just, we didn't have the power with this tractor as well, so it would have meant buying a bigger tractor, spending more money on a bigger tractor. That again may not have had narrows. I don't know if we'll need them yet. Like, we might look. We'll go back in shortly and have a look. I wonder what other bits of kit we can use then with the skid steer attachers. We'll have to have a look at that as well. That might make life easy for us. I know I say it all the time, but it is so dark when you're underneath this canopy. Even I've noticed when I'm doing the thumbnails, to get a one that seems sort of bright enough, because obviously you don't want a thumbnail to be really dark, do you? It's like if I chose that for a thumbnail there, that's quite light there. But then, if you do it from that side, I mean, look at that. Look how dark that is. I noticed on it was episode 2. I think it was episode 2. Yeah, the one where we were planting by hand. I noticed on that one, when I come to actually release the video, it was mega dark. Try to stay away from this crop, because I know it's just going to damage it. Right, how many of these have we got left? Possibly 3. Ah, one of them's underneath there. I'll do that one later, the one that's underneath the water tanker. Last one over here. Well, that was a raging success. That was absolutely brilliant. And you can see already just how much better our grass field, how much better that grass field looks compared to our beet field. You can still see, can't you? Look at the rows of beets. You can still see where we've planted by hand. I think the next time, because we will end up having to use that planter, like the next time we put crops in, we're going to have to use that hand planter again. But we'll try to do a better job. Right, what I am going to do is, I'll tell you what, let's have a quick look at skid steer attachers. Let's see what else is on there. There. I mean, there might not be anything, but a stump grind. Could I have had that? Where's that come from? Is that out of pack? That isn't even out of... What is that from? Why haven't I seen that? I wonder, do you know what? I could have totally used that, couldn't I? For 20 grand less. What's that? Destroy rocks. We don't want that. I suppose we could have that. If that would get us a road out of here. Stump grinder for 4.5 grand as well. Oh my god. Where have these come from? I've never even seen them before. I mean, I know that one's a mod. But, well. Right, I'm going to quickly have a look at some sheds. See what we've got. See what we've got loaded. And then we'll hopefully get a couple built. Okay, so I found a couple that I like, but we either don't have enough funds at the minute, or we're restricted by where the trees are. What we'll do is, right, this is there we go. So this is the first one we're going to get. It's only $2,000. The way I think I'm going to do it is, and you'll see this is why I'm restricted, because anything bigger at the minute, I'm gonna do it so it sort of opens out. So I will follow that line as well when we come to it. So basically our yard will be sort of in this big I don't know, quarter circle. I'm sure there's a better name for that shape. So it sort of, it opens out like a big V. I think that might be the best way to do it. That'll be the best way of getting space, rather than just plonking that straight in the middle there and then trying to get another one, I don't know, there, and or even just plonking it straight there. I think if we try to open it out a bit, it'll just be a lot better. So let's, for now, let's demolish some of this fence, if it'll let us. Sure it will. Yeah, it will. It's a shame we don't get any money back for it though. Yeah, we might as well take that out for now. I imagine that will come out as well eventually, because I don't think it's a gate, is it? I mean, looking completely opposite way, but it's not a gate, is it? It's just the fence. Is that a stump there as well? Maybe one I've missed. Right, now let's get this. I was going to say this 100% fits in here somewhere. Right. That is our first shed. I'd rather, I'll say that, I don't mind that. A bit of a gravel standing. Let's tell you what we'll do just while we're on. This is probably the last thing we do actually. Let's just get these down. And not destroy our crop whatsoever. I don't know if that bit might be a little bit too big. It'll just give us some more space. Do you know, this is really weird. So, this is the first time I've heard it, because I never play with the sound on. So I've never heard that chopping noise before. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you knew it was there all the time. But for me, yeah, never even heard it. And do you know what? I've never even thought about why wouldn't it make a chop noise as opposed to the chainsaw noise. I didn't even think about it. Didn't even think about what noise it might make. I can turn the sound back down on my headphones now. Yeah, so this is the way I was clearing all that area over near at the back of the beef field just behind us now, by just running and doing this, which totally is not efficient whatsoever, but it was the best way of doing it at the time. Right, we'll get this last one down. There we go. I'm hoping we should get maybe 1600, although these trees seemed quite big actually. There was some, because what I was tending to do, I was chopping 2 down, transporting 2, or like just carrying 2 over and then selling 2, and I was getting up to £2 for some of them. I think that's because I was hitting areas where the trees were quite a lot bigger. I think tonight, so what day is it today? It's Monday, it's about the 16th, something like that, 17th. 17th, I think episode 4 of this is just about to go out tonight. Or today. Oh, I read on one of the comments, it was Danny, I believe, about, was it a productions pack? Let us just quickly try to get back into my YouTube. I'm sure it was a production shed. I'm gonna have to have a look at that, because I might even have it on, but it's not something that I'm sort of familiar with. He said you can build, make your own fertilizer, and 1,300 wasn't as much as I thought. Make your own fertilizer and seeds and things like that. So that might be something we need to have a look at. Let's last thing we'll do is, it wasn't really for the, I suppose we could leave the equipment in there. We need to get those bags out of the way. I haven't got anything, a way of doing that though, have I? I don't have a front loader. I mean, this will just tidy things up nicely. You seen when I was trying to put the shed, it was popping up saying restricted because of I don't need that as well, do I? Restricted because of the shop area. That must be quite a big trigger, because it was extending even beyond the fence line. So right, if I do that and then I change it to that one, right, there we go. So that attaches on there, ready to use. We'll get the roller in. I love this roller, you know. This is like, if there's any bits of kit I like to use, it's things like this, just old, battered, little bits of machinery. Like that seeder we've got, I know that's not particularly battered, but just, I absolutely love using stuff like this. I don't love backing into our new shed and taking the post out like. And it might be another couple of episodes until we need that roller. Ah, we need to fertilise, don't we? Do we need to fertilise the let's do that. This will be the last thing we do. That's not fertiliser, that's lime, you doyle. Oh my word. Right, it's all gone wrong. There's a fertiliser over there. And there's the temp posts. Oh my god, what is going on? It was all going so well. Not enough space, are you having me on? There we go. I don't know how much fertiliser we've got left. Why am I don't want that. Right. There we go. Is this our only bag of fertiliser? It is, isn't it? Yep. Them other two. Oh no. Oh, we've got loads there. I don't know if we'll use this much. Let's right, so this will get our grass field to 100%. If I can actually see where we're going. Do you know, we might actually have to think about getting some artificial lighting up around here, which is something we never normally have to contend with, is it? I can't be having this all the time. Can't say what we do. I have no idea where I'm covering. Just sort of aiming blindly. Tell you what, that wasn't bad. There's that tiny little bit over at the back somewhere. That was not bad at all. Are we heading towards that way? Yeah, we are. Okay. That still hasn't covered it. I wonder if it was a bit I missed originally. And it's just put the first application on. Let's go and get this button here. Right, next episode. It'll totally depend on what happens with the beats, I think. Let's just turn that off. It'll totally depend what happens with this. What's it saying on there? So there's still at least 2 growth stages left, isn't there? I think, by the looks of it. So it won't be next episode we'll be doing that. We might look to extend the yard, do a bit more logging. In fact, I think that's what we will do. We'll look at trying to make our logging a bit more efficient, I think, in the next episode. See how we can make a bit more money, a bit quicker. And then ultimately working towards getting either paying for narrows on this or buying a tractor that has narrows on it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much done for now. I don't think there's anything we can do apart from just go around cutting trees down, which I don't want to do. I don't think there's anything left to do in this in-game day. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.
PlayStation